Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there's quite a few things to negotiate about. So I am just going to be giving you the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. So Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has come out and said that he wants Paul Pogba to stay at the football club, and he doesn't want to finish his career with no regrets. So this is, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said, because I think he was asked in the press conference building up to the game against Norwich in the FA Cup quarterfinals if, Paul Pogba, will be at Manchester United next season. Now, of course, Paul Pogba started in the previous game against Sheffield United. That was his first start for the football club in 10 months. So the last time he started before that Sheffield United game was back in September. But since Paul Pogba's come back, he has made a fantastic impact. He was very, very good when he came off the bench against Tottenham. And he was also very, very good against Sheffield United because he created the most chances in the Sheffield United game. But I think that partnership between Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, is definitely going to work. It's already working, should I say. And I did say that Bruno Fernandes is key to Paul Pogba's future. I actually think Paul Pogba could end up signing a new long-term contract at Manchester United. I think as it stands at the moment, Pogba's got a year left, or is it just under a year left on his current contract? But the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. I think we have been in contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba is one of the highest paid players at the football club. He's on just under 300 grand a week, but he is our most expensive signing because we did pay £89 million for him. So more or less his future is now being resolved. Don't forget earlier on this year, Paul Pogba had told our teammates that he wants to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. He also revealed last summer that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he said he was seeking for a new challenge, and he even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. Paul Pogba revealed last year that his preference was a move to Real Madrid, but the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said last summer we wanted £180 million for Paul Pogba, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation and all of that. But Paul Pogba did say last year that he was dreaming about playing under Zinedine Zidane. Of course, there was also stories about Paul Pogba going back to Juventus. Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison. But I think, he's going to finish the remainder of this season on a high, and I think he'll do very, very well for us next season with Paul Pogba. So yeah, he did have a long-running transfer saga. Of course, there was talks about him going to PSG quite a few weeks ago. He's been linked to a move to Barcelona in the past. And like I said, we've been very, very critical of his agent, Mini Raiola, reflects on some of the comments he has said since the turn of the year. But in the last couple of years at least, Mini Raiola has been in the process of trying to get Paul Pogba move away from Manchester United completed. I think Ed Woodward had negotiations with Mini Raiola earlier on in the year. But Mini Raiola's spoken with Juventus. He's also spoken with Real Madrid. Like I said, Tino swap deals were high on the agenda. But, we said if we'd have sold Paul Pogba, if we was to sell him, yeah, we would want over £100 million for him. I think we did say that we'll value him at around £150 million, because I did say if we'd have sold him, obviously, we do want more than the £89 million that we did pay for him. Don't forget, Paul Pogba has won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Paul Pogba as well endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. But there again, all the top players endured a very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. We had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. We let him go on a 3 transfer because we did actually get Paul Pogba from Lee Harvey. But Solskjaer's made an admission saying that, we've got to match Paul Pogba's ambitions. Of course, he wants to experience winning the Premier League with Man United and the Champions League and all of that, but he has not yet, experienced any of this. Paul Pogba has received a lot of criticism as a Manchester United player. His biggest critics throughout the course of this season have been Roy Keane and Graham Souness and all of that. But yeah, I think Paul Pogba's very effective in that number 8 because you can say he can do all right in the number 10, but obviously, Bruno Fernandes, plays in that number 10. That's his predominant position and that's where he is more effective. And Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He has got 4 goals and 4 assists for the football club so far. We got Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth £65 million. Bruno Fernandes did sign a 5.5-year deal at the football club in January, but definitely one of the best players we have recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era and all of that. So Solsjaker said, he wants Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. This is, what he has currently said. So that is the latest news on Paul Pogba. That's the latest news on him. Like I updated you on my video this morning, well, that video is actually still uploading. Solskjaer was also talking about Jesse Lingard's future, and he doesn't know what the future holds basically for Jesse Lingard. What Solskjaer's basically saying, Jesse Lingard does need to prove himself. He does need to prove himself. As it stands at the moment, Jesse Lingard has got 1 year left on his Manchester United contract with an option of a further year. Now, Jesse Lingard has not started a game for us since New Year's Day. He hasn't registered 1 goal or 1 assist in the Premier League for over a year now, so that just indicates how inconsistent he has been. But like I said, in regards to Jesse Lingard, reflecting on his status at the football club and reflecting on the number of years he's been with us, he should be putting much more better performances out. Jesse Lingard, of course, he's in his late 20s and that. So the news on that. So let's delve into another topic now. So I think there's around 5 players that must prove a point in the game against Norwich tonight in the FA Cup quarter-finals. Now, these 5 players are, I think, definitely Brandon Williams. He's definitely got to prove himself because since the season resumed, Brandon Williams has actually not played. So he didn't play any part in the Tottenham game and he didn't play any part in the Sheffield United game either, Brandon Williams. And I think, he's going to start the game tonight against Norwich as, Brandon Williams. I've been very, very impressed with Brandon Williams, though, this season. He's enjoyed an exceptional season. As Brandon Williams, he's our backup left-back at the moment because, obviously, Luke Shaw is our first-choice left-back. Brandon Williams has scored, 1 senior goal for the club, and that came against Sheffield United earlier on in the season. So Brandon Williams, must prove a point tonight against Norwich. I think also too, McTominay, he must also prove a point as well. We had some really, really good news regarding Scott McTominay not too long ago. That, he signed a 5-year deal at Manchester United. So that keeps him under contract with the club until 2025. And he's also an option of a further year. That's very, very good news. And, Solskjaer did react to this and he said, McTominay's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since 2012. And he's been in our senior squad since 2017 and made his senior debut against Arsenal. And since then, he's made around 76 appearances for us, scored around 6 or 7 goals. But yeah, I think in the last year, he has become a world-class player as Scott McTominay, so he must prove a point. I don't think, by the way, McTominay did start against Sheffield United. Also to Fred, he must also prove a point as well. Fred obviously didn't start against Sheffield United, but I think he's definitely going to be involved in the game tonight. I think Fred, has enjoyed an exceptional season for us. He's definitely confounded his critics wrong because Fred did receive a lot of criticism under Jose Mourinho. But to be fair to Fred, he never really got his opportunities under Jose Mourinho and all of that. But this season, Solskjaer's given him his chances and he's done very, very well. We did get Fred for around 50 million, or was it just over 50 million pounds? and he was an exceptional player at Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine, that is. Like I updated you recently, he said Fred wanted to extend his Manchester United contract this year. And I think, maybe we're going to open negotiations up over extending his contract. As it stands at the moment, Fred has got 3 years left on his current contract and he's on around £130,000 a week. But obviously, if he signs a new contract, he wants an increase on his £130,000 a week wages. So Fred has to prove a point. Also, too, Jesse Lingard, he also has to prove a point as well. And I think Daniel James, he also has a point to prove. Daniel James, don't forget, didn't start in the game against Sheffield United, but came on. Of course, he wasn't too good in the game against Tottenham. But overall, I think, Daniel James has enjoyed an exceptional season for Manchester United. I think he's played, is it just under 40 games in all competitions this season. We paid £15 million in from Swansea last summer. So he was a cheap solution, and I think he did sign a 5-year deal with us, did Daniel James. Now, I'd actually prefer Mason Greenwood over Daniel James on that right-hand side. You know what I mean? But Daniel James can play on the right. He can also play on the left. But actually, for the vast majority of this season, we've been putting Daniel James on that right-hand side. So is there a possibility chance now that we could, maybe loan Daniel James out for next season? I'm not too sure. But he's definitely got a point to prove tonight against Norwich and all of that. So they are the 5 players. But, Solskjaer's already confirmed that he's going to make several changes from the 3-0 win against Sheffield United. Like I said, Sergio Romero will be in goal because obviously, he plays in the cup games. I think Delors will be at right back. Delors hardly played this season because obviously, he's had a few injuries as Diego Delors. He is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. We did get Delors in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We paid around £19 million for him from Porto. And he's got a contract with us until 2023 as Diego Delors. But yeah, I think he will start tonight against Norwich. Bissaka, of course, will be dropped. Solskjaer was talking about Wan-Bissaka recently in his press conference building up to the Norwich game. And he's happy with the way Wan-Bissaka is progressing. His defensive contribution is very, very good. He just needs to show more attacking intent, does Wan-Bissaka. That's the only downfall at the moment. He's not showing enough attacking intent. This has been Wan-Bissaka's first season at Manchester United. And, we did get him, was it, for around £45 million last summer from Crystal Palace. Also, too, I think Eric Bailly will definitely start tonight. He'll come in for Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof will be dropped. Bailly's got something to prove as well. Bailly's a very, very good centre-half, and some United fans have said, we should put him ahead of Victor Lindelof now for, these games that we've got coming up. But Lindelof's been our first choice centre-half this season alongside Harry Maguire. But my only element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he is injury-prone. This has been now Eric Bailly's 4th season at Manchester United. And of course, we did get him under Jose Mourinho. He was Jose Mourinho's first signing. We did pay £30 million for Eric Bailly. Like I said, it'll be Williams at left back. I think Bruno Fernandes will be rested for this game. Possibly Paul Pogba will be rested as well. I also think, Rashford and Anthony Martial, they'll also be rested for this game. So yeah, we're going to rest quite a lot of players, for the Brighton game and that. So he'll make, several changes. You've already seen my preview for the Norwich-Manchester United game. Anyway, I did it, a day or two ago. Like I said, this is a 6th consecutive season. We have progressed to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We progressed to the quarterfinals by beating Derby in the previous round by 3-0. We beat Tranmere in the 4th round by 6-0. And we beat Wolves in the 3rd round by 1-0 and all of that. So that's how we progressed to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. That's how we progressed to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and that. But, we win this game against Norwich tonight, it will extend our unbeaten run to 14 games in all competitions, because as it stands at the moment, we are unbeaten in our last 13 games in all competitions, and that's our best vein of form since Againest Solsjaker was the interim manager. But we should beat Norwich. Like I said, Norwich are a very, very poor team. They're bottom of the Premier League. They are going to get relegated. They've lost 20 games in the Premier League this season, have Norwich. Their recent defeat was 1-0 to Everton. Now, this is Norwich's first FA Cup quarter-final since the 1991-1992 season. The last time we played Norwich in the FA Cup was back in the 93-94 season. It was in a fourth round tie, and we'd won that game by 2-0. And we've won 10 of our last 12 away games against Norwich in all competitions. So, we have got a very, very good record against them. We haven't lost to Norwich at Carrow Road since 2012. So that's like 8 years ago now. That is like 8 years ago. And we're looking to beat Norwich for the third time this season. We're beating them 4-0 earlier on in the season at Old Trafford. And we're beating them at Carrow Road 3-1 earlier on in the season as well. And Solskjaer did confirm there's no injury concerns. I think Phil Jones and Alex Tuanzebe, they're the only recent injuries, that we have currently had. Norwich, they've got a few injuries. They've got Zinnemann out, Sam Byron and Grant Hanley and all of that. But we should be winning this game against Norwich without a shadow of a doubt and all of that. Solskjaer's obviously, outlined his objectives for the remainder of this season. Solskjaer did recently say he's targeting a third place finish, but I don't actually think we are going to get third. Maybe top four could now be gone for us, because Chelsea are sitting 5 points ahead of us. But we need to finish at least fourth, because we do want qualification for the Champions League for next season. And I presume if we get Champions League qualification, we will generate money by doing that, if we get qualification for the Champions League. And plus, we do want to attract players to the elite level. Definitely, the FA Cup is a priority for us, and the Europa League is a priority for us, because that's a chance for us winning 2 trophies under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And like I said, if we could win both of them, or at least one of them, and get in the top 4, it would be a fantastic achievement for Solskjaer and Manchester United. It really, really would in that. Because we have lacked silverware in the last 7 years. We've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson's retirement, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. So we haven't won a trophy since 2017 and that. And, Solskjaer's now been at the football club for 18 months. So he has outlined his objectives for the remainder of this season and all of that. But Solskjaer's actually come out and said, we will find it harder now to win trophies than the glory days under Alex Ferguson, because obviously, under Alex Ferguson, we won 38 major honours. Of course, 13 Premier League titles we won. It was including 13 Premier League titles. And obviously, the vast majority of our success came under Ferguson. Ferguson endured 26 years with us, had 22 years of success, because obviously, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United and all of that. So he said it will be harder for us to win trophies. Solskjaer also did respond to Liverpool winning the Premier League, and he's congratulated Jurgen and his players, for Liverpool winning the Premier League. But he said it hurts to see them as champions. Of course, Liverpool have ended their 30-year drought. It is their first ever Premier League title, and it is their 19th overall. So they are just one behind us now, because, we're on 20 titles, and we are, still the most successful team in England. So let's put that into the equation. Solskjaer also did say that Liverpool will find it difficult. To repeat Alex Ferguson's run of titles. So what he's saying is, Liverpool will find it difficult to dominate, like we did under the Alex Ferguson era and all of that. And he's actually, put a warning out to Liverpool saying, that we will be up there, challenging next season and all of that. Because I did say, didn't I, our expectations next season will be to challenge for the title. Because, this has been the 7th season now we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. And we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. So there you go. And like I updated you earlier on today, Solskjaer has made an admission saying that he's unsure. He's unsure how much he will get to spend in the summer transfer market with the financial impact on the coronavirus pandemic. Back in May, Ed Woodward had given us our financial figures, and it said our net debt is just over 429 million. But he said our debt had risen up by almost £130 million. Now, don't forget, Ed Woodward did say the other month that we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So what he meant is, we won't be spending hundreds of millions of pounds on players. But he did say, we will remain competitive in the summer transfer market. But Solskjaer's recently come out and made an admission saying that Manchester United have to spend to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. Of course, Solskjaer's already spent quite a bit of money at the football club since he got recommended in. He has spent just over £200 million because last summer he brought Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odin Igalo in. So they're the 5 players that he has brought in so far. And to be fair, they have been, very, very impressive. They have been, very, very impressive in that. But the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, and it will be his 2nd summer transfer window because he's already overseen 1 summer transfer window and all of that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I said, is I've taken positives from his tenure. Like I said, he's brought 5 good players in. He's promoted the youth very, very well. We're in a good vein of form at the moment and that. And like I said to you, he's still got big decisions to make in the summer transfer window, of what players he's going to recommend in and what players he's going to get rid of. Solskjaer's already said he's looking to make around 3 or 4 major signings at the end of the season. And I think he's looking to get rid of at least 5 players. As you all know, we are going to release 9 academy players next week when their contracts do expire. But we have seen a lot of players leave the football club since Solskjaer came in. We saw Ashley Young leave this year after he enjoyed 8.5 years at the football club. He went to Milan. We saw Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes in January. Of course, we're looking now to get rid of him permanently. We saw Smalling go out on loan to Roma last summer. We're now looking to get rid of him permanently. Darmian left the football club on a permanent transfer last summer. And Herrera, of course, left on a free transfer last summer, went permanently. Playere, he left in January 2019. He was the first player to leave Manchester United under the Solskjaer era. Romelu Lukaku, he left permanently last summer. He went to Inter Milan. And of course, Sanchez last summer went out on loan to Inter Milan and that. So yeah, a lot of players have left the football club since he came in. Valencia, of course, don't forget, he left at the end of last season after he enjoyed 10 years at Manchester United and all of that. But like I said, there's other decisions Solskjaer's got to make as well. Obviously, he's got a goalkeeping decision to make on David De Gea and Dean Henderson. I think, for the remainder of this season, David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper, obviously. Maybe next season could be different. Like I said, we are facing a bit of a dilemma at left back, but like I said, for the remainder of this season, Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back. So these decisions that Solskjaer has, definitely got to make. Has definitely got to make. Another good thing as well, we have extended a lot of players' contracts at the football club since Solskjaer came in, but I think there's around 8 or 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So this is something else, we do need to sort out. Angel Gomez, we've got to hurry up and make a decision on his future as well. But there you go. But my perception on Solskjaer is, I don't know if he's the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Time will tell, of course. I think he does need at least another season at the football club because it is a transition period. And, like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But it has been a transition period for a while. But like I said, in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch-up, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent, close to the £1 billion range on players. We've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. Moyes, he obviously, brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Moyes only endured 9 months at the football club. Should have never recommended David Moyes in, and obviously, it was Ferguson's fault for ever recommending him in at the time, but the main explanation why I recommended him in is because they was both Scottish. Also to Van Gaal, he endured 2 years at the club, and he brought a hell of a lot of players in. He brought the likes of Di Maria in, Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Ander Herrera, Falcao, Daley Blind, Rojo, Damian, Romero, Martial and Shaw, who of course are still here. So Van Gaal, brought a hell of a lot of players into the club. And Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into Manchester United. And there's only a few that have left since... there's only a few players that have left who Jose Mourinho brought in. So let's put into the equation, Solskjaer is inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players and all of that. But if it wasn't for Sir Alex Ferguson, wouldn't have literally had any success, because, like I said, the vast majority of our success came under him. And before Ferguson, was actually very inconsistent. Wasn't good under Ron Atkinson. Also to Wolf McGuinness, he only endured 18 months at the football club. Did Wolf McGuinness, and only managed to recruit 1 player. Franco Farrell, we got relegated under Franco Farrell's guidance, didn't we? I think it was back in 1974 we got relegated, so we haven't been relegated for a good 40 odd years now. But yeah, so we'll see what happens anyway. And if things don't work out next season, that's when I would get rid of Solskjaer. He was very, very close to getting sacked early on in the season. He was so close, but he didn't. Like I said, the signing of Bruno Fernandes definitely saved his job. And with the wins against the big 6 sides this season, you can say that's also saved his job as well. But yeah. But there's been a lot of problems at the club, cultural problems. Obviously, there was a lot of problems with Solskjaer earlier on in the season. A lot of problems with the club's board. There's been problems with Ed Woodward and the Glazers, because we have been very, very critical of Ed Woodward and the Glazers, for several years. Woodward's been with us since 2012, and the Glazers have been with us since 2005. And all of that. They've been with us since 2005, And yeah, so we have got a lot of players on our agenda. We're still hopeful of getting Jadon Sancho on the board from Dortmund. He's our number 1 priority target. Jack Grealish, he's another one of our priority targets. Like I updated you earlier on today, I give you the news on Matteo Guendouzi from Arsenal and Jeremy Boga from Saluso. They're now another 2 players that are on our agenda and that. So who should Manchester United sign? When early on in Solskjaer's managerial career, he worked out his transfer strategy and said he wants to, recruit young British talents to the football club, because 3 of the 5 players he has recommended in so far are obviously British. So there you go. But Solskjaer is happy with the squad we've got, but he probably believes that we're like 3 signings away, from challenging for the title. But next season, Solskjaer will have much bigger expectations to exceed. Definitely in that. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.